back to Mancinima. Well, you know, we're only a few weeks away from Christmas now, aren't we? And it's about time that cinema started releasing their big movies for the Christmas season. Now, one of those movies is Wonka, starring Timothy Chalamet. I think that's how you pronounce his surname. And it's, of course, based on the 1964 Roald Dahl novel, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which in turn was turned into a 1971 movie starring Gene Wilder, which was called Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And then, of course, in 2005, we had Johnny Depp playing Willy Wonka in Tim Burton's version of the story. This one's a little bit different. This one goes back in time. This shows you where Willy Wonka came from and why he's so interested in chocolate and why he wants to have all these grand plans to have a chocolate factory and things like that. Now, I haven't seen the movie at this point, so I'm just going off of what I've read on the internet. So if this synopsis is slightly wrong, I'll correct it once I've seen the movie. We'll come back. I'll have a different t-shirt on like I've done before, so I'll go and see the movie, then I'll come back and I'll give you what I know from the movie in the review. So yes, at this point all I know is that Willy Wonka is kind of making his way through the jungle and he finds his way to this European city. I think it's non-specific. I don't think it's supposed to be London or anywhere like that. It's just this non-specific European city. So he breaks his way through and he's met with kind of a very upright, very self-important, very stuffy citizens of the city, you know. And he's a bit of an eccentric, bit of an extrovert and things like that. So of course they find him a little bit strange. And the story will go on to explore, like I said, the origins of Willy Wonka and how he became this great chocolatier. Now, from what I understand, there's going to be flashbacks to show you his childhood and growing up and show you why he's so driven. And, of course, then we flash forward to the future and, you know, we see how he sets this whole thing up. Now, you know me, if you've seen one of my last reviews for Wish, you know that I'm not a great fan of musicals. Now, I've heard that this is a musical, so I'm a little bit anxious about seeing this one because I don't like movies that break into song. I don't know what it is, but I just don't like movies when they all break into song. I'd rather they just get on and tell the story. However, the songs might be nice in this one, they might be interesting and catchy, and if that's the case, then I'll tell you in my review. So in the meantime, I guess what I've got to do is get myself ready, get myself off down to the cinema, watch the movie, and then I can come back and tell you what it's all about. So I'll see you in a few minutes. So I've just literally got back in from seeing Wonka at the cinema. There's a little bit more I need to explain to you about the plot. The plot that I read off the internet is not exactly right, so let's just get into a few details of that and then we'll move on. So the movie starts off with Willy Wonka sailing in on a boat, and he's sailing into town. He's been apparently 7 years at sea, but he decides to wants to kind of try for his dream of becoming this master kind of chocolatier, if you like. And he sails into this little town, and his idea is that he will set up a kind of a shop. He has this little daydream about this shop, and it becomes a Wonka shop where he's selling his chocolate and giving it out to the world. Now, the reason he wants to give the chocolate out to the world is because his mother died when he was very young, and she said, when you give your chocolate to the world, that's when I'll reappear. So he's hanging all of his hopes and dreams on her reappearing. So that's what drives Willy Wonka in this movie. Now, he arrives in this town, and along the way, he's got, I think it's 12 sovereigns he's got, and he's very generous. You know, this shoeshine boy comes up and does his shoes, so he gives him a sovereign, and then he gets dirty, and then the shoeshine boy appears again, so he gives him another sovereign, and then there's a lady who's got a baby, and she needs a place to sleep for the night, so he gives her a sovereign, and before you know, all of his sovereigns are gone. So he finds himself sat on this kind of park bench, I think it's beside a river or something like that, but it's freezing cold anyway. And he says he's going to stay on the park bench for the night. So enter this character played by Tom Davis, and I think his name is Mr. Bleacher. And he says, well, look, you'll freeze to death if you stay out here. Come with me, and I'll take you to somewhere where you can get warm overnight, and then you can sort out your business in the morning. So he thinks that's a good idea. Willy Wonka is very naive in this movie. So he goes along with him, and he meets I think it's Mrs. Scrubbit, if I got the name correct, and she's played by Olivia Colman. And again, she appears very nice. She says, warm yourself by the fire, have this drink, there's a room upstairs, you know, get yourself settled, you can pay me your sovereign in the morning, then you can be on your way, and hopefully you'll have made your fortune by then. And of course, things are not as straight as they seem. There's this young girl who pops out from this little cubby hole behind Mrs. Scrubbit, and her name is Noodle. And she's played by, I think it's Calla Lane, might be Carla Lane, I don't know how you pronounce the name, it's spelled C-A-L-A-H. Anyway, she says or she whispers to Willy Wonka, read the small print before you sign the contract. And of course, we learn throughout the course of this film that Willy Wonka cannot at this stage read. So he just takes everything on good faith. He thinks everybody will be good to him, and he thinks, oh, I'll sign the contract, everything will be fine. He goes out the next day, and he goes into the town square, and he plies his trade, if you know what I mean, tells everybody about these chocolates, gives everybody a sample of the chocolates, so they're all behind him. However, there's these three chocolatiers who work together. They form the chocolate cartel, and they don't want Willy Wonka anywhere near the town because obviously he'll be taking their business. They want to be the ones running the chocolate business in the town, so they want to drive him out of town. So they're kind of on his back, and they say, you can't do that here. And they conspire to get him trapped with Mrs. Scrubbit, where he has to go and work below Mrs. Scrubbit's building, and he'll be trapped there until he's paid his fee off. And of course, she's added on fees for the drink, fees for using the stairs, fees for, having a light on and stuff like that. It's very, very silly fees, but they all mount up, and it's something like 10,000 sovereigns he has to give away. So he realises he's going to be here for a very, very long time, and he won't achieve his dream. So yeah, that's the basic plot of the movie. I won't tell you much more. I want you to go and see this film at the cinema and experience it for yourself. I hate these reviews that give you every single detail, but I just want to give you the plot. So it just puts you in the situation that Willy Wonka's path to becoming a chocolatier is not going to be as straightforward as he thinks it is, and there's a few bumps along the way that he's got to sort out. So on to now what I thought about the movie. Now, you know me, as I said with Wish, I don't like musicals, and this movie opens with a musical number. As he sails in on the boat, and then there's a little respite where it goes a little bit quiet and the plot moves on a little bit, and there's another musical number, and in the back of my head as I'm sitting in my seat I'm thinking, I hope this film isn't going to be like this. I hope it's not going to be song after song after song, because that will just bore me. But it's not. What it does is there's a few songs kind of stacked together at the beginning, and then it settles down into the plot, and there's a lot of dialogue, and there's a lot of action, and there's a lot of interaction between the characters. So I was quite pleased with that, and actually by the end of the film I found myself liking the film very much. It does flag in places. There's a couple of places where I thought, please move the plot on a little bit faster, get to where you're going a little bit faster, and eventually it does. But yeah, I thought that was on the whole pretty good. I was quite impressed with the movie. Everybody does a great part in this film. Timothée Chalamet does a fantastic part as Willy Wonka. He's got a great singing voice, even though I didn't really care for the songs. Actually, I will just say about the songs that I didn't hate them. Sometimes I'll go into a musical and I can't bear the songs because they are whiny kind of, Disney-fied songs, and I don't generally like that. That was the case with Wish. It all sounds very much the same. There's a type of song that they put in those kind of movies, but these ones were very jovial, and I thought they were very in fitting with the 1971 film. They were of that kind. If you put this film and the 1971 film back to back, I think they match up very, very well. But we'll get onto that a little bit more in a minute. So the song's not too bad. Where was I? So Timothée Chalamet's got a good singing voice. He plays a very good part. He's very whimsical. He's very naive, and he's very fun to watch. And he's got his little magic tricks that he does. I thought Carla Lane as the young girl Noodle was very good. And also in this movie, as you've probably seen from the trailer, is Hugh Grant. Now he's playing an Oompa Loompa. And he's actually very good. He's not in the film very much, and he doesn't appear in the film till very late in the film. But from what you see of him, he's actually good fun, which makes me surprised why he's been in the press this week moaning about having such a bad time about making this movie. I'm just, quite surprised by that. But yeah, he's a lot of fun when he turns up. He's only in it sporadically. He's in it, like I say, about the middle towards the, middle and then on towards the end of the movie. You've got the villains are very good, although they are a little bit pantomime. They're not, like nasty villains that you see in some of these films. They're a little bit pantomimes, like boo hiss kind of business. But yeah, they're enjoyable. Everybody plays their part very well. I thought Olivia Colman was very good. I thought Tom Davis was very good and very funny, and their relationship that they have between the pair of them. Again, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but watch their relationship. It's very funny. I was very, very surprised by this film. I didn't really think I was going to enjoy it because I knew that it was going to be some musical aspects, but I came away actually thinking it's probably one of the better films I've seen this year. The sets are absolutely incredible. Now, I don't know if they've shot them out on location or whether they've shot them in a studio, but they just look amazing. Big, tall buildings, very grand, looks very kind of Victorian era, and everybody's kind of dressed in that kind of look. I was very impressed with that. I was very impressed with the special effects. I was very impressed with the mood of it all. Of course, it's directed by Paul King, who did the Paddington movies, and they got a certain charm about them. And this film's got a certain charm too. I wouldn't say it's as charming as the Paddington movies. I think it's good. I think a lot of that charm relies on you loving the bear and his cuteness, and we haven't got that factor in this movie. So it's not as charming as Paddington, but it's still got a charm of its own, if you know what I mean. This movie, I think, is going to be, like I said earlier, I think it sits very well with the 1971 Gene Wilder movie. It wouldn't fit at all with the Tim Burton movie. It's a completely different style than that. It would kind of sit very well with the Gene Wilder movie. It's very much like that in mood, in style, in performance, and the way it's put across on the screen. So yeah, I thought it was a very good film in that sense. The one thing I will say is that if you've seen the Gene Wilder movie, you'll know that at the end of that film, he's a bit cantankerous, he's a bit moody, he's a little bit sinister as well, in the way that he doesn't really care what happens to the children. So I would like to see a movie that bridges Wonka and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory to show you how he became a little bit more cynical, a little bit more moody, maybe something happened to him along the way that can bridge that gap between those two movies. I think we probably need one more movie to tell us how he got into that situation. But yeah, I mean, it was kind of great in here. It explained the origins of the Oompa Loompas and how they came to work for Willy Wonka, and about the silly dance and stuff like that. And the Oompa Loompa song, so that appears. World of Perfect Imagination, that's the famous song for the original Willy Wonka, reappears. It's sung again perfectly well by Timothée Chalamet. Yeah, I really did enjoy this film. I would recommend it as one of my favourites of the year. I'm going to do my top 10 list very soon, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be in there. So yeah, I would say I would give this one, and this is generous for me, you know, with a musical. I don't really give generous marks for a musical, but this is going to be an 8 out of 10 for me because I thought everything was very well done and it had, like I said, a certain charm about it. So an 8 out of 10, go and see this one at the cinemas, you'll really enjoy it. And I think it's probably one of the perfect Christmas films that you can get out and watch over the Christmas period and you have a good time. Take your kids along, adults who remember the original film will enjoy it as well. So yeah, there you go. I hope you've enjoyed that review. I hope you're going to go out and see Wonka. I don't think I'm going to have any more film reviews this end of the year. Aquaman is the next film that opens on December the 20th, I believe, or the 21st. But I'm not going to be around to review it. It certainly won't be able to make my top 10 list because I'm going to do that very soon. So I might speak about Aquaman on another video down the line. So unfortunately, yeah, I won't be around to review Aquaman for you. But I hope you all go and see it. I hope you all enjoy it. And I think you should support it because it looks like a fun film. And then we'll be back in the new year with whatever's showing in the new year. And I've got loads of other videos coming up on different subjects as well. I've just done a new one about the dinosaur ride at Universal Studios. If you've enjoyed this one in the meantime, please give this the thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. It really does help the channel out. And thank you to everybody who does give it the thumbs up. Really appreciate you guys. Don't be one of those strange little weird thumb bandits. You know, we don't talk about them. But yeah, nice people. Thumbs up. If you're brand new to this channel, please subscribe. It's all free. Same with the thumbs up. It's all free. It just basically encourages my channel to be seen by more people. So it really does help me out and it helps the channel out and encourages me to want to do more of these videos. And hit the notification bell and you'll know when I've done the latest one of these videos. Sorry, I'm a bit of a cold there. I said no. I said do instead of no. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's cold outside. Anyway, I will be back very, very soon with my top 10 of the year. And also, I'll have a preview of what's coming up in 2024. And attached to that video, I'm going to have my top 5 kind of disappointments of the year. I could probably call them the turkeys of the year, but they're my disappointments of the year. The films that I went to see at the cinema and I wasn't really impressed with. So that'll be in there. I can't do 10 because there wasn't 10 films this year that I thought were really that bad. So I'm just going to do 5 and then I'm going to add the 2024 on the end of that. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this one. Thank you again to all the brand new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who gave the videos the thumbs up. I'll be back very soon. If I don't see you all before Christmas, have a lovely Christmas and let's get a great 2024 behind us. See you soon. Take care. Bye.